The Appalachian Trail. We'll meet up with Hunter Lacomis for an update on his adventure to hike it all. Hello everyone, I'm Don Jacobs, and I am here in Schuylkill County on the Appalachian Trail, and we're going to go wild with DiscoverNEPA, getting caught up with Hunter Lacomis. Hunter, you're on the road to finishing your challenge. Tell me, where are you in the hike?
I'm just over 1,200 miles in, well over halfway at this point. Just about 3 months behind me and 2 months left to go, hopefully.
The last time we were together, it was late February. You were getting ready to start, and we were talking about preparation.
Mm-hmm.
We showed what you were prepping, what you were carrying, what you think you needed. Score yourself on a score of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. How did you do in preparation?
I'd say I got a 4,
Yeah.
You know, not too bad. I was able to start off fine, and then, you know, you kind of learn it as you go. You can't anticipate doing something like this. So I got most of it right. Had to change some of my gear out to go, like as I was going, but, you know, I've been faring pretty well, I'd say.
And you also, you did some blogs for DiscoverNEPA, and I've been finding them fascinating. And you talk about how at the very beginning, you didn't expect the cold weather you were going to deal with.
Yeah, it was definitely colder for longer than I expected. You know, like I was hiking through snow, cold weather, like in the 20s overnight, you know, like I wore all my clothes at some point.
And with simple hiking shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just trail running shoes.
Did you go through a pair yet?
I'm on my 3rd pair right now, actually, yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me some of the states that you've gone through, and tell me, I mean, I've read it, so I sort of know, but tell the people that are watching, what was the hardest state? So tell me where you've been.
So I started in Georgia, and there's really not much trail in Georgia, but it's mountainous. So you kind of go over the mountains there, and then you transition into North Carolina. And then in North Carolina, you enter the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. And you're up in the mountains through all that beautiful country. And then you dip back into Tennessee for a while, and then you enter Virginia. And then from Virginia, you hike all the way up the spine, and it is a long state.
You were saying 400 miles, is that right?
It's at least 500 to go all the way across Virginia.
And rugged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, way tougher than I thought it was going to be.
You know what? All of your pictures of you, which means you bumped into people, you were smiling. You were on a vista that you would not have seen if you did not take this challenge, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so many places like are far from where a lot of people go, which is really neat.
So if you had to tell me in like a percentage, how much of it were you alone? Like you walked and stayed alone and walked and stayed alone? Like, were there a lot of people along the way?
Yeah, I'm mostly at shelters, because there's a whole system of shelters, I think I said, along the length of the trail. So, you know, if you want to stay at a shelter for the night, you're probably going to run into someone. And I made friends along the way, like hiked with groups for weeks or days at least. But percentage-wise, I'd say maybe 70% of it is alone. Like, yeah, hiking during the day,
right?
You're kind of on your own in the wilderness, which is really pretty cool.
It is cool. However, you've got to be prepared for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody just can't say, I'm going to go and for a couple of days just be alone.
No.
That's hard.
Yeah, and it's honestly probably not going to happen. Like, even though you're hiking and you feel like there's no one around, there's probably someone within a mile of you hiking in the same direction.
On the DiscoverNEPA Appalachian Trail map, where are we and how much more do you have to go?
So we are at the Blue Mountain Summit trailhead, right off Route 309.
Okay.
This is like mile 1,250.
Wow.
So
okay.
I'm getting off for a couple days, celebrate my birthday,
right?
And see some family. You know, it just really worked out that it's like just over halfway. So
right.
Take a nice little break and come back to it.
So not only physically, mentally, you probably needed to check out for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, most people do this kind of straight through, but I feel really fortunate to be able to come home halfway through, you know, and I'm only an hour away from where I live. So
did your food work out and everything for you?
So I definitely changed up the way that I make food. I know last time we talked, I had like a freeze-dried meal there. I don't really rely on those a whole lot. I've kind of ditched even breakfast and lunch, and I just rely on snacks, you know, eat granola bars and Snickers and, you know, candy. Because anything I eat just turns into miles. Like, I just digest it so quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, dinners are nothing fancy.
They can't be, because you got to carry it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So ramen, tuna packets, like, you know, whatever I can stick in my bag and is shelf stable.
You actually look thinner.
Do I really?
You do.
Oh, that's not good.
How much do you have?
So from the start to when I got off. I think I lost about 13 pounds.
And you didn't have a lot to lose, the period.
No. So maybe a little bit of fat came off, but definitely some muscle. I mean, I feel it in my legs.
So any animals, critters, any stories like that?
Oh yeah. The first bear I saw was in Southern Virginia. And it was just like a hint of it, you know, like you hear horror stories of people of them taking food, but I just saw, you know, the butt of one running away from me.
Right.
But that was pretty cool. Lots of deer that are way friendlier than you think they should be.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They see people all the time, or maybe all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no one on the trail is trying to hunt them, so you
Right.
know, it works out.
All right, so you're going to embark on, let's call it a little less than half of the trail left in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I feel pretty ready. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, the first 1,200 miles is quite the preparation.
Right.
You know, it really whips you into shape quick. So by the time you get to less than 1,000 left, it feels easy.
Yeah.
I want to say. So I'm excited.
Was there ever a moment where you said, what the heck am I doing? I can't, I don't want to, I'm not going to finish. Were you going to throw the cards in at all?
Honestly, the first week was pretty tough. Because it's just such a foreign concept, you know, like you start and you get in the woods and like the first like day or two is kind of fun and exciting, but then within a week you're like, oh man, I'm out here for a long time.
Right.
But then after that, you kind of get in the groove and you figure it out, and then, you know, you figure out how to shorten your goals a little bit.
Right.
From, you know, like, oh, Maine is so far away, but I can get to this next trailhead today.
Right.
You know,
right.
and that helps.
All right, so we're going to wish you well. You're going when we're done here, you're going to hit the trail and you're going to end in Maine when?
Hopefully mid-August is my goal.
Mid-August.
August 20th is what I'm saying.
And when you come back, we'll do this again.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to.
Good
Yeah.
luck, buddy.
Thank you so much,
Good
Don.
luck.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We wish him the best, don't we? Of course we do. Now, for this episode of Go Wild with Discover NEPA and all the other episodes, you can go to discovernepa.com or subscribe on YouTube.